Hey everyone. So I'm coming to you today from this suspended place. At least that's what it looks like. So I'm sitting in my hammock, which is one of my favorite places in our whole property when we put out our hammock, and it's like really wonderful and the sun is shining and all that stuff. And so I was thinking about, what are our favorite places like? Why do we feel so comfortable there? I think for me, this feels really comfortable because it's outside. I can feel the wind moving. I can hear the birds, as you could probably hear too. It's really super peaceful, and it's like, it just feels like ease, and it also feels like I'm in union with things. Like it feels like I'm part of nature. And so that brings me to my next sort of musing that I have today, which is the idea of separation and the idea of union. So we a lot of times feel like we're very separated. We feel like we are like this individual in this body that is doing all the things throughout the day, that's thinking about things, that has emotion about things, and it's like as if we're one entity, right? A lot of times I think about, there's so much interesting stuff out there that's coming out in science right now. For example, our biology and how that works, and how our biology is very similar to nature, right? It's like it's almost like we share the same immune system. We share the same, networks. It's like we communicate in all these different ways. So you have the mycelium in the forest, right? All these mushrooms that are talking together. And they're talking to the trees, they're talking to everyone. We have something similar where we have our, energy fields, and we communicate to each other that way. Like if you come into a room, you just have to take one look at a person, you can tell which kind of mood they're in, right? You can like immediately gauge that, like, oh, this person, like you can feel if somebody's been angry in that space. Like if people have been arguing, you can actually feel it as you're walking into that space. You're like, oh, something happened here, right? Or if somebody's extremely happy, you look at them, you feel their energy field, and immediately you can feel that, oh wow, that this person is happy. It's also going to elevate my mood. Same thing if you like take a plane ride and you arrive in another country, you can actually kind of feel the energy of that country as you land if you like really try to tune into it. So I think we're much more like nature than we actually think that we are. We're so much more connected. We're so much more connected to our families, to our friends, because we can actually sense what's going on with them. And it's been shown lately that, again, news in medicine and biology, that, we know that when a fetus is inside a woman's body, it has some of the female cells. So your children has some of your cells, which means that they like literally physically have some of you in them. But what they've also seen lately is that you also get to keep some of their cells, which is why when you have a child, sometimes you can be like, I wonder what's going on with them now, because you can actually physically tune into your body and feel like something is going on with them because you have their cells, right? And we know through quantum physics now, quantum entanglement, that if you change something in one particle on one side of the world, and you have the other particle on the other side of the world, it immediately has a change. It's not like it's instantaneous. It's like this, boom, right? And they both change. And you can check all this stuff up on YouTube, because it's all there. Like quantum entanglement it's so fascinating. So when we talk about being separated, I think that we maybe might be wrong. We feel like we have a separate body, and it seems like we do, right? Just like the mushroom in the forest has like that fruit, that part of it that you can actually see above the ground. But then it has all these amazing networks underneath the ground. And I would venture to say that we're the same. We have this fruit body, which is our body, that can be seen, communicated with, and interacted with, and can move in time and space and be like, yes, I'm here now. Now I can talk to you. Yes, I traveled here. Now I can speak to you, and so on and so forth. You can see me on the camera. You're on the other side, and you can be like, oh yes, she's there, right? And you have your own body that you can say, yes, this is where I'm at. But I truly believe that we need to start to question this idea of separation, that in reality, we are so underneath our feet, just like the mushroom, or actually through our energy field. We're so much more connected than we could ever imagine. And so this idea of coming back into union, because I think we've been so separated for such a long time, to come back into union with each other, to come back into union with nature, to come back into communication with everything that's around us. I think that might be one of the most important things that we can do right now. And one really great way that you could do that is grounding, right? I'm sitting here with my feet barefoot on the ground, and I'm kind of feeling this energy, from the earth. And so being there, or just laying down on the ground, it's an amazing thing that you can do. You could also start to interact with trees. You could give a tree a hug and feel what that feels like. Trees have amazing energy fields. It's just, they feel incredible. But also think about the air that you're breathing in. The air that you're breathing in has been used by millions and millions of other people, right? The water that you're drinking has been through many, many people's systems. I know that sounds like, oh my God, that's disgusting, but that's actually how it is, right? And we are literally like made out of this, carbon that has been here for millions and millions of years. And we're basically made out of carbon and stardust, right? And so even within our physical body, the stuff that it's made out of has been used and recycled so many times throughout the history of the earth and the galaxy and the universe. When you start to think about it like that, it starts to, like, your brain, your mind just starts to blow right open. Like, is there actually anything in me that's me? You're just made out of other stuff. You're interacting with other stuff every day through your energy field. And, they invented this thing called airdrop, right? And I was looking at my phone the other day when I was airdropping, and I realized, oh, this is how telepathy works. We don't understand how it works, but it has a connection between my phone and the computer, the airdrop, and automatically, boom, like that, then a file is uploaded. So if we start to think about, all these different things, then we realize we're not separate at all. We're actually part of this huge ecosystem, and we just happen to be a fruit body, if we use the mushroom analogy again, in this ecosystem. You're just an expression of everything that's underneath it. You're just this perfect little mushroom that can communicate with other perfect little mushrooms. But technically, we're all one and the same. I hope this wasn't too much. I love to think about things like this. If you want to comment, about like, wow, this is interesting. I never thought about it. Or I've thought about it a lot. Like, this is, what I think about all the time, right? There's all these amazing books out there about this, but, leave me a note and we can have a discussion. I'm super interested in how you feel about this, because actually when you really start to think about it, it's super, super fascinating, and it brings about a certain amount of freedom too, because then you don't have to feel like you're the only one that's separate and you have to fight for your survival. No, you're connected to everyone else, and we're all in this together, right? Lots of love. Namaste. Take care.